Howdy friends, welcome back to the House of Tone. My name is Wes Lee. I started a YouTube channel to show what my life was like working on band instruments every day. This is my life. Today we're going to talk about dent hammers. Let's go. Okay, so what we've got here are dent hammers. They have in common wooden handles, steel heads of different sizes. Dent hammers can be used in a wide range of repairs. This is a trombone that we're fixing to begin on. And you can see how banged up the tuning slide is. This is going to be our example piece for today. So we'll be talking a little bit more about this. So dents can be taken out from all around the tuning slides. Dent hammers can be used in the stem. Dent hammers could be used over on these tubes. Dent hammers can be used under the bell. So there's many applications. This beautiful instrument came to me and the second valve was stuck. This is a Con clickless valve and the guide here was stuck and the cap would not screw on. It was flat spotted on the back side of the casing. Let's see, you can see a little bit. Let me zoom this in. You can see a little bit of the damage that I had to repair right in there. So I actually used my dent hammers in a form of repairing this. The action on this horn feels so good. Beautiful patina. We took off the green from this copper, but just left the patina. Man, this horn smokes. Some good work in here, creating a patch back in the day. That's really nice work. We got the dents out of the mouth pipe and just made this horn just really, really nice. Looks great. Turned out great. Goes out in the mail tomorrow. So when we're talking about dent hammers, what is it that we're talking about? The dent hammer normally has a rounded side and a flat side. Some of them will be extremely flat with a rounded head on a small. Some of them are more of a rounded profile on the flat side and a flatter profile on the round side. They weigh different amounts but are very comfortable in hand. The tiniest for working on trombones and other things. Any dent hammer could be used for any operation. It's just a matter of how hard that you want to strike. I would go so far as to say that dent hammers are not even hammers. They're planishers, they're burnishers, but I wouldn't necessarily categorize them as a hammer, although that's what they are classified as. You're striking against the surface, not driving something into the surface. You're moving that metal. If you're coming across, you're glancing that blow and you're pushing it to this side, or you're pushing it back like this. Pushing motions. In this example, we've got a small dent here. We're going to take the flat side of the hammer and we're going to work those creases. The motion that I am making, I'm coming across. It's not about hitting it hard. It's about warming up the brass and getting the molecules to move. And if you watch the light line, the brass starts moving. And as you rotate through the light line, the light line is straight, straight. There's our dent, and it dips just on that dent. I'm going to step over here and push the dent up. So we're going to use a small ball and find my dent by hammer tapping that and lowering those high spots and getting that light line straight. Then when I take the dent out, it becomes almost invisible. And so there we go. It's out and you can't tell that I was ever there. Okay, now I'm going to take, my finger is marking it. I'm going to push it high. So I'm going to make it a punch out. So I punched the ball out and you can see this ridge. Okay, so now we're going to take the dent hammer and we're going to burnish that back smooth. So here's our bump out. And we just want to follow the light line. Blows coming off like this. And we're just rotating. Still invisible. We're tapped back down. There's a little bit of the inside right there. But that's it. Okay. Now, we have a pretty significant dent here. You can see strong ridges throughout here and strong ridges inside here. So let's go after the inside first. We're going to use the radius of the hammer and we're actually going to flatten out some of that deepest portion. You see I'm making the softer. Now I'm going to take these hard ridges and we're going to tap. Now I'm going to push the whole thing back towards the center. I'm giving it slight rotations. Can you see how this is softening up? The inside crease there. And I'm just coming, these blows are coming back like this, coming across, striking across. And I'm just working this light line. The hammer is being held very loose. Basically, I'm just holding it with my index finger and my thumb. The other fingers just kind of control, and it's loose. It's a very, very light tapping motion. If I needed to get into a smaller area, let's say that I wanted this area right here, I wanted to remove that ridge. I could take my rounded, this is the smallest size, and I may come in and work those to kind of flatten that out some more. And now when we go and punch this dent out, we're going to see less scarring. Let's check it out. Okay, so we're back over here. And as we push the dent out and bringing the shape back to the tube, I can come right down and I have less scarring that's going to happen. There's less stress on the brass when this happens also. Let's check it. So there it is. Everything is straight. I left these. Let's go ahead and now I'm going to leave these three. I want to show hammer tapping those. This is our dent that was on top. This is where we started. Then this was that big dent that we just worked. Clean, 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 straight light lines all the way over through this side. Okay, let me show you about these. When you have with these series of little dents, you take the sharpness out of the dent. Instead of just trying to punch it up, if you take the sharpness off of the edges, work your light line, and there are the actual dents, right? But the light line is straight. Now when you make the punch on these, and remember we're working here to here, so when you make the punch on these, you see them right there. One of them looks like it went away, and two of them are very, very faint. So let's go punch these out. Now it's just less work. Less scarring. Which yields better results. Got a little punch up right there. That's where our dents were. That light line is nice and straight. There you go. Like it was never done. Because this profile is completely flat, you can make marks on the brass. We're going to make some marks right here. If your technique is off, you see those? You nicked the brass. And what that is from the corner. Now, a quick fix, take a little blue painter's tape, and this will kind of cushion this blow. You can hear the difference as it's tapping. But you don't get those nick marks. However, long term, work on your technique. You want the hammer to strike. See, it's only contacting in one area. If you're working on the top of the tube, you're wanting to round out one side or the other. Anything on the side goes back to the center of the tube. When you're in the corners, you use the radius and tap till it's on a flat. Then you flip and move it. Continue to push it back around. However the brass wants to go to be put back in its round shape again. Now, I'm using this light one, but we can also use this. We could use this heavier one. What's going to happen is this is going to move mass much faster. So if you're working on something like a tuba, or you really need to move a lot of material pretty quick, this may be for you. So the dent hammer is this burnisher that's moving things around. Like a painter and his paintbrushes. Now you can make your dent removal results turn out better. There's less effort when taking the dents out. And when you start seeing the creases and how you can move them, that's when it gets exciting. Another technique where I use the dent hammer, so we can see here, if we rotate this through the light, there's a low spot from where I was rolling. If I take the rounded side of the hammer and I come from the back, and I'm just using my fingers to draw out that crease, and probably I push it to where it juts out on this side, and then I roll it back again so that it'll blend it. Because the metal has memory, you can come back here and draw out and make it lump and then push it back. And that's what we're doing here. Okay, now let's go roll this. So now when I come back, I'm just rolling that one high spot and pushing it and blending it back. And that'll be it. And that makes your dent work look that much better. So you can see the hazy mark from the tool. Our light line is straight all the way across, and that's what we were after. As we blend up, that's the thing. We could go back and get a little bit more there. I'll do that off camera. But that's how you use a dent hammer as a push burnisher. Well, all right, friends. That's the inside scoop, the trade secrets on how to use a dent hammer, or as I like to call it, a dent planisher. It's great to take an old tube, any kind, tap it this way, warm up the brass. You will actually see the brass starting to move. You're not hitting it hard. It's not about hitting it hard at all, actually. It's about repetitive motion, warming up those molecules, and then they'll go this way. And then, when you get them over there, warm them up and bring them back. And you can do that. It's really incredible how malleable the brass is and how it can be used and pushed into different ways. And these techniques will take your dent work to a whole nother level. Everybody likes it when they get their horn back and they can't tell that I was ever there. That's the thing. Metalwork is an art form. It's one lesson and it lasts forever. So grab a piece of brass and a couple of hammers. Start planishing your way to a good time. As always, I'll put the link for all the part numbers down in the description below, and a link to Ferree's tools so you can call them up, get some of these cool tools for yourself. Thanks again, everybody. I appreciate you very much. Appreciate the questions that you ask and the comments as always. Thanks for stopping by the House of Tone. This is Wes Lee signing out.